The Earnestly Speaking podcast is a show that is founded on free-flowing conversation and may at times venture into mature subjects. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to the Earnestly Speaking podcast. I'm your host, Ernest EJ Christian, coming to you on a late night Wednesday in South Florida. On the line with me, of course, every week through our picks. The man, Zack The Degenerate. Zachary, I won again, didn't I?
Oh, man. This is probably my most embarrassing week. I was almost hoping we would have technical failure through the week. It was really bad.
Yeah. Which games crushed you?
Well, I mean, the half-a-point game with Seattle, where I would really love to file an appeal. You know, Seattle's not even allowed to kick an extra point in overtime.
That's right.
That one would have made a huge difference for me.
I mean, you could have to take a Tampa like I did, but okay. Just saying.
Or I could get my extra point kicked and you would lose and I would win. That would be a huge one.
Yeah. It's been a rough year for you, buddy. It's been a rough year for you. We're now 10 weeks of the year, and you have not won a single week against me. That's
I'm sorry. We've only played 9 weeks, sir.
Yeah, well, it's week 10. No, week 10 now.
Yeah. Week 10 is when I make my comeback.
Okay, well, right now I've won 5 weeks. I am 5-0-4 so far this week. 4 ties.
Yes, you're 10 games up on me.
Some shit. Some shit. But we'll see what happens.
You know what? Last year you were 10 games up on me, and I made a comeback to almost get the even.
But
before I lost in the final week.
The difference this year, though, is that we changed the format this year a little bit. This year, instead of us going game by game, we just take week by week, and whoever wins the week wins the week, and whoever wins the week, that's it. The only difference from last year, we kind of did the whole thing, and we were 2 games behind. That was too time consuming. It's easier to do it this way.
Yeah. Also, last year I was allowed to pick two things in one game. I could take the spread and an over/under. And if we were counting just the Buffalo-Washington game, I should have 3 victories. Buffalo covered.
That's that
it
new
was
math.
Under, and Washington never scored a touchdown.
You're Washington, right? You're
3 points on that.
You're Washington. Believe me. Tough year for your Skins.
Hey, it's not my fault I know how good my team is.
At least you know where you're at. Okay, so we'll talk about, obviously I want to discuss a little couple more things with you other than the spread today. We're going to spread the spread in the second week 10. We'll talk about a little bit of college football in the back end too, and our Knowles and some news in the Knowles this weekend about the firing of the Willie Taggert. Let's get to the picks first. So we got out of the way first. We got 6 buys this week, Zachary. 6 bye weeks. 6 buys. Teams on buys this week. The Broncos, the Texans, the Jaguars, the Patriots, the Eagles, and the Redskins. The Redskins need it definitely.
The Redskins have been on a bye week every week of the season.
That's true.
Even when they showed up in Miami, they were on a bye week.
Dude, they're literally 2 yards from being 0-9? 0-8? 0-9, yeah. So bad.
0-9.
Yeah. Anyway.
They really should be 0-9.
Yeah. Okay, well, we actually got a good game tomorrow night, Thursday football. The Chargers heading to Oakland to face the Raiders. The Chargers right now are 1-point favorites. The over-under is 47.5. Quiet as kept, Zachary. Both these teams actually in the playoff race. This is kind of a lose-leaves-town situation here. Both teams 4-4. What do you think?
Yeah, it's also like a battle of 2 teams no one cares about outside of the LA or California in general.
That's true. Although nationally, the Raiders are getting some love, though, a little bit. Some degree, a lot of respect. They had all the drama with Antonio Brown and other. Derek Carr's having a career year. little resurgence back there for Derek Carr. No one's really talking about it, but he's having a little bit of resurgence this year. But that being said, the Chargers, as I said last week, they won that desperate game against the Packers. I'm going to take them again this week on a desperate game against the Raiders. Give me the Chargers to win this game outright. 1 point, of course, favored by they'll win this game outright.
Yeah, I would. I'm the other way. I would love to take Oakland to win this game outright. But I have to play it safe right now. I am just getting my brains beat in. So for right now, it's nothing but safe picks until week 15.
Okay.
And so I took the over in the game.
Okay. Not terrible. Okay. Next game here, we have the Kansas City Chiefs headed to Tennessee, face the Titans. The Chiefs right now are 3.5 point favorites. The over-under is 48.5. We might see the return of Pat Mahomes this week. We keep hearing that they expect him to return this week, but nothing official just yet. Hey, the Chiefs, I'll tell you what, I've been saying that, look, the safe route here is Matt Moore's has done a very good job for the last 2 weeks in his absence. And, you got a bye week coming up next week. This is a winnable game against Tennessee. Why won't you just keep Mahomes another week, plus the bye week next week, and bring Mahomes back in the middle of the month?
No, and I'm right there. I think you should make this a battle of former Miami quarterbacks.
Ooh, Tannehill gets more, right?
What could be more fun than that?
Yeah. That said, I have the over in this game. I think there'll be lows. I think this will score in this game, actually.
Wow. And I went the other way with that.
What, under?
I was thinking, yes. I'm taking the under for the simple fact, if Matt Moore plays, which I will expect him to play right now, that Tennessee will be able to keep a low-scoring game on Kansas City's side. And Ryan Tannehill showed what the height that he can reach in his week 1, and his average is 14 to 17 points. So I'll take an under in a game this high.
Okay. Not bad. All right, next game here. The Buffalo Bills, who are now 6-2, heading to Cleveland to face the Browns. The Browns, the struggling Browns, the disaster that they are 3-point favorites in this game. The over/under is 40 points. Zachary, I'm gonna shock you. I'm thinking the Browns win this game. Desperate Browns. One more time.
Well, are you taking the Browns just to win, or are you taking the Browns to cover?
To cover, yeah. 2-point favorites.
Wow. Yeah, maybe the Browns win, and if they do, it's by 1 or 2 points.
Okay.
I'll take the Browns plus the points. I cannot envision a team that has played this bad all season
to the Bills plus points, right?
being able to beat the Buffalo defense.
So you're saying Buffalo the points, you mean?
Yes.
Right. Okay. You said the Browns, that's why.
Oh, no. I was saying I could see the Browns winning by 1 or 2.
Right.
But I will take the Bills plus the points.
I don't know. What's wrong with Cleveland, man? Mayfield's a disaster. I mean, Odell Beckham goes to a new place, same situation. It's a disaster. Do you think this is one and done for Freddie Kitchens?
I would have thought after this past weekend he was done. When you lose against a team bringing in a rookie in Denver and you still lose a game, you need to be fired. And if you don't fire the head coach and Freddie Kitchens, you have to get rid of the offensive coordinator.
I think it might take them falling apart this year, like losing out or maybe winning like one more game for them to get fired. Probably. I don't know. We'll see. All right. The Arizona Cardinals heading to Tampa to face the Bucks. Tampa Buccaneers are favored by 4.5 points. The over-under is 52 points. This is actually a sneaky good game, actually. Two teams are under 500, but this is actually a sneaky good game here. Give me the over in this game. 52 points. I see a high-scoring game between Jameis and Kyler.
And see, I thought the other way. I'm thinking Arizona coming eastbound. It's gonna be a real low-scoring first half for them, and so I took the under.
That's the opposite. I don't think we. If I'm not mistaken, I don't think we agreed on one game so far since we started this. Interesting. Interesting.
Just because I said I had to play Kesso doesn't mean I was going to agree with you, Ernest.
No, I know. All right, the Battle of New York's, and of course, the two of the worst teams in football, the Giants. Well, I would say Giants at the Jets, but it's actually a Jets home game, but, it's in the same stadium where they both play at. The Giants are 2-point favorites. The over-under is 43. Zachary, what are you doing this game? What are you doing this one?
Well, one, I wish my team was as good as either one of these two teams.
They're much better, though.
That's how bad the Redskins are. But I actually took the over.
Wow.
I felt like it was a pretty low over at 43. The Giants will be able to score at least 21, and if they're going to win, they're going to put up 28.
Right.
28-31. So I'm going to go with the over.
I went the other way, actually. I don't know why. I went the under. That's weird. We have not.
Wow. You're going an under with a Giants team that has been able to put up points every game this season since Daniel Jones has stepped on the field, essentially.
Oh, man. I'm going on gut here. This could be a week we can win finally. This could be the week. I don't know. There's an opening here.
Wow.
Be happy. The Jets are a disaster. They are a fucking disaster. Adam Gase, I don't know, man. Ugh, this is just bad.
Could the Jets really fire Adam Gase after just one season?
Yes, they could.
Do you see that one happen?
Yes, because with the infighting. Well, first of all, him and Greg Williams don't even talk, number one. So there's already a lot of personality flaws in that front office and with him as well too. So I can see that happening. I'll say this much: if let's say both the Browns and the Jets fall apart, I can see Kitchen surviving before Gase because of the fact that only because Kitchens is a more likable guy, and I guess he has him getting another chance, whereas Adam Gase not so likable. Just saying.
But out of those two owners, Haslam has fired a head coach literally 4 out of the last 5 years, and Gase has an actual excuse with Sam Darnold not playing for a month.
Oh, come on,
I mean, doesn't that have to play into your decision making if you're going to lean on your GM and player development and all that?
I mean, maybe.
Your football guys.
But I do think also if you are somebody that will not cooperate with your front office or your coaching staff, that goes beyond just X's and O's. And that's why I say Gase, the odds of Gase getting canned is a lot higher than I think we get credit for. But I don't know. Maybe you could be right. Maybe the Darnold stuff not being available this year, because of mono and the injuries and whatnot. Maybe that helps. Maybe it'll save his ass for 1 year. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Another terrible team here. The Atlanta Falcons heading to New Orleans to face the Saints. The Saints are 12.5-point favorites. The over-under is 51.5. Zach, what you do with this one?
Well, unlike you, I'm not going to pick the Falcons plus the points. Anyone who's listened to this show, we all know what you're going to do with this game. I actually went with the over. I would expect Drew Brees to put up 40-plus points on Atlanta's terrible defense.
Well, I'll say as much. You're right. You're wrong. I'm not taking Atlanta. In fact, I'm going the opposite way. I'm taking the Saints to cover this game. First off, is Matt Ryan even playing this game? Is Matt Ryan even playing this game?
You're going to take the Saints minus 12.5.
Yes.
Against a team you have been taking the points on all year.
They quit. They're done. They quit. That's it. It's over.
Okay.
I dropped that habit, man. I dropped that addiction on the Falcons. I'm done. Plus,
you dropped it on the bye week. That's good.
By the way, is Matt Ryan even playing this week?
I have no clue who's playing on that team anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, and by the way, the Saints, in my opinion, might be the best team in football altogether. Gun to my head.
Yeah, I really believe in my heart of hearts as far as talent goes. Philly has a better team top to bottom.
Well, yeah, but New Orleans, I mean, their defense is just great. I mean, they were playing great without Breeze. And guess what? They had a harder schedule than all these teams in the NFC start the year. So, Yeah, give him credit.
No, they did. On that part, they did.
Right. All right, the Baltimore Ravens heading to Cincinnati to face the Bengals. The Ravens are 10-point favorites. The over-under is 46 points. Zach, I'm taking the Ravens to cover this game. The Bengals are done. They quit. Lamar Jackson goes off. I don't care. It's a divisional game. Both of these teams going in opposite directions. Give me the Ravens here to cover 10 points.
I was right there with you. I looked at it as a Ravens defense feasting on a rookie quarterback who I actually expect Finley to play better than Haskins this weekend.
Wow. Haskins been bad.
Yeah, I expect a 4th-round quarterback who has no arm strength to play better than the Redskins' 1st-round draft pick.
That's a pretty big indictment, my friend. That's a pretty big indictment. Okay, next one here. The Carolina Panthers without Cam Newton, who's out for the year, heading to Green Bay to face the Packers. The Packers are 5-point favorites. The over-under is 48 points. Zachary, have we seen lots of Cam in Carolina?
I would expect so. If there's any sign of a team that's going to get rid of a quarterback, it's when they can cut him loose with almost no financial risk to the balance sheet. Cam Newton has not played well since his MVP season. The injuries just keep piling up. And once you develop that Liz Frank injury, it never goes away. You usually only see it in basketball players, and they suffer for their entire career. The only other guy I've seen it in outside of basketball would probably be Albert Pujols, and he went from being a perennial MVP to being borderline minor leaguer. So if I was Carolina, yeah, I would try and trade him for anything I could get.
Well, I do think, though, a lot of this also hinges on how well Kyle Allen plays the rest of the year. If he shits the bed in the next couple weeks and the end of the year, then I think Cam's back next year. But if Kyle Allen is solid as he's been, I mean, he hasn't been phenomenal, but he's been solid.
He's 5-1.
No, but okay.
If Carolina finishes 8-8 even on this season, do you really go back to Cam Newton when you have to worry about injuries for the rest of his career?
Well, that being said, I do think Cam has I think this could be good for Cam, though. You know, really getting a whole year of rest is to get his body right. You know, people. I'm surprised. I'm really surprised no one else is talking about this. You know, people talking about Cam and be done and all that, but is it possible maybe a whole year off of just getting his body right? You know, healing all his injuries. You know, could that help him for next year? He's had pretty much a whole year off. That should help him going forward. In a contract, especially in a contract year to boot.
Yeah, in a contact sport where he chooses to run all the time, I never see him coming back from this injury to be a perennial player, let alone being a perennial Pro Bowler.
Well, that being said, I am taking the Packers here to cover 5 points.
Yes, so am I. I thought it was going to be hard to twist your arm to take the Packers.
Oh, no.
That stupid ass upset.
No, but I went on the optics based on that game. I told you, you know, when I tell you at work the other day, the Chargers are the only team in the league where 1 week look like a top 5 team and the very next week look like a bottom 5 team. The pendulum on the Chargers is so wonky; it stretches out so bad.
Yeah, all I see the Chargers play is like hot garbage.
Well, most of the year. Well, they're 4-4 now, 4-5 now. So we'll see what happens. All right.
4-5.
4-5, right. All right. Again, they got a big game tomorrow night. All right. The Detroit Lions heading to Chicago face the Bears. The disappointing Bears are 3-point favorites. The over-under is 42.5. Zachary Trubisky, he is hot garbage.
Not only is he hot garbage, but now he's asking to have certain TV channels turned off in the locker room and at the stadium. Come on.
What?
Yes. No more the Hallis TV He doesn't want to hear any negative commentary.
Then how about you just play better? I don't know.
I mean,
It's an idea.
I've tried to defend the guy with how bad the coach has been all season, but you cannot come out and ask for stuff like that. I don't even care if you're Tom Brady. You cannot come out. You have to pretend like some stupid douche on TV has no effect on you. That is the whole mentality of football. You cannot show weakness.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's pretty cool. That being said, I'm taking the under this game, 42.5.
Under. See, I took Detroit. I went with the. I know Matt Patricia does not know how to call a game plan on the defensive side, but as long as you stand in front of the first down marker, you will be able to stop Chicago. Hell, if you just stand 2 yards in front of the offensive line, you will be able to stop anything that Chicago does. So I have to take Detroit. I feel like this is the easiest game of the season to not only bet on, but to coach, even if you were never a coach in the league.
Basically, you're saying Chicago's dead to rights at this point.
It's not just dead to rights. It is so predictive of what they do.
And this is a team that you had going to the playoffs there, too, just for the record.
I did.
You did. You sure
so
did.
Either they make a huge run, and I just bet against them all year, so I get the over-under right, or they suck, and I get every game right, and they fall flat on the over-under.
Yeah.
But
alrighty, next game here, we have the Miami Dolphins heading to Indy to face the Colts. The Colts are 10.5-point favorites. The over-under is 44.5. Zach, what you got in this one?
Well, before I answer this question, do you know if Brissett's going to start?
No clue. They said that the injury isn't as bad as they thought. That being said, I expect Hoyer to play. By the way, congrats to the Dolphins on their first win. And I'm taking Miami in this game on the points.
As am I. As long as Hoyer starts this game, I can't do anything but take Miami.
Yeah.
Now, if Brissett were to start, I expect to lose this bet.
And there's a bit of upswing for the Dolphins. They've been playing very well the last couple of weeks. You know, there's a little bit of upswing. They're not a bottom. They're not the worst team in football, in my opinion. Well, I think Cincinnati's a place.
You're right. There's been a little Fitz magic. They're now like number 30.
Mm-hmm.
It's Cincinnati, Washington,
Miami,
and then it's Miami. Actually, Miami might be in the 20s now at 29.
Yeah, the Jets suck.
They did just beat the Jets, so
they were 30 on my list. I had 32 Bengals, 31 Jets, 30 Miami. The only reason I had the rest ahead of Miami is because of the win. They play head to head. But even that, honestly, you could argue if they play again today, I might pick the Dolphins to win that game straight up. So I don't know. But yeah,
it's tough to look at the bottom four for the simple fact that Miami came within inches or feet of beating Washington, and the Jets had the receiver not juggled the ball in the end zone. That's a whole different game against Miami. So all we can do is say Cincinnati's the worst team in football.
Yeah, easily. All right, next one here. We have the Rams. LA Rams heading to Pittsburgh to face the Steelers. The Rams are 3.5-point favorites. The over-under is 45 points. You know, the Steelers are 4-4. Another team that's in the mix. I'm not saying they'll get the playoffs, but Mike Tomlin did a good job with that team this year.
Yeah, and I'd say it's more the Steelers are beneficial of their schedule at this point.
Could be, yeah. Mm-hmm. If they win this game, maybe.
And I would honestly look at the LA Rams just crushing them. You will probably come up with some reason where either Pittsburgh can cover or win this game outright, whereas all I see are the Rams just putting a beat down on Pittsburgh.
Well, neither. I have the under this game.
Ooh, okay. That's fair enough, because the Rams have struggled to score points.
The defense is really good.
You got a legit chance there.
The Rams win this game, and I don't know if they win it comfortably, but they should win this game easily. They should win this game, period. But Mike Tomlin, I had Big Ben and all the drama, and by the way, the quarterback Rudolph hasn't been good this year either, and it's still 4-4. So it's actually quite impressive.
I'm just happy to see Rudolph playing again.
Yeah.
After the hit he took, just to see him on a football field is an amazement.
Mm-hmm. I agree. All right. The Sunday game, of course, a big one here. A huge game for playoff implications here. The Minnesota Vikings heading to Dallas to face the Cowboys. The Cowboys are 3-point favorites. The over-under is 47 points. Zach, I got to tell you, that Minnesota loss against KC last week, a big loss. That's actually a disappointing loss for them because that's a perception. I know that they had Mahomes. She's had Mahomes in that game, but you have to win that game somehow, some way.
No, I picked Minnesota. I expected them to put a beat down on Matt Moore and the Kansas City Chiefs. That completely shocked me. I have no explanation for how they did not crush Kansas City.
Mm-hmm. I know that.
But that being said, I will take the under because while I can't count on Kirk Cousins in a primetime game, I can count on the Minnesota defense.
I also have the under in this game as well too. Now this is a Kirk Cousins on primetime. We'll see how it goes. Logic should say take the Cowboys, but I'm not there yet. The Cowboys are good, but they're not great. Let's put it that way. So, all right, and finally the big one on Monday Night Football. The Seattle Seahawks heading to San Francisco to face the unbeaten Niners, who are 6-point favorites. The over/under is 46 points. Zach, I'm taking the Seahawks here on the points. I already told you guys, I am not really big on the Seahawks as a team. I think they're 7-2 because of the greatness of Russell Wilson, who is my MVP right now. And I do think they'll keep the game close. I think San Francisco should win this game still because they're a better team. But, maybe you get some Russell Wilson magic this on Monday Night Football. But give me Seattle on the points.
All right. So, earlier this week, we found out that Quan Alexander is out for the season.
Correct.
So, you're talking about a middle linebacker who would normally be covering Russell Wilson, spying on him. He's no longer there. You've got a backup coming off the bench who's probably maybe played 10 to 15 snaps all season at that position. Not only will I take Seattle with the points, this is San Fran's first loss of the season.
Whoa.
Yes, and I think this pushes Russell Wilson to the top of the MVP list.
Mm-hmm.
He is the number one MVP candidate, and then there's another tier.
Right.
This would be the game that separates him from everybody else.
I like the take. I like it. I just don't know if the team's good enough to beat him. But if they win this game, it's because of Russell Wilson's greatness, obviously. So I do agree with the narrative that if they win this game, this is what's going to happen. I'm with you there. Okay, and again, we said the buys are Broncos, Texans, Jaguars, Patriots, Eagles, and Redskins. Let's go quickly. Your reaction to the first playoff four reveals. Number one was LSU. No, number one was Ohio State, right? Ohio State number one, right?
Yeah.
2 LSU. 3 Alabama.
So
4 Penn State.
Yeah. And 4 was Penn State.
Yeah. Any problem with that?
I was a little bit upset that LSU wasn't number one. I am a little bit of a Southern homer, and I feel like LSU has played a little stiffer competition than Ohio State has. So I feel like it should have been LSU 1, Ohio State 2. I'm just happy that all the voters that determined the playoff did not put Alabama in the 1 or 2 seed. As far as Clemson being left out, they deserve to be left out at this point. They have beaten nobody.
Mm-hmm.
And they're playing in a division which me and you should be able to agree on.
Right.
Is absolute hot garbage.
Yeah.
It doesn't even feel like a Power 5 conference anymore.
I will say as much. I have no problem with what he did here. I mean, like I my rankings this week. You know, I did my rankings every week also as well too. Mine was obviously 1 LSU, 2 Bama, 3 Clemson, 4 Ohio State, whatever. I like.
Wow.
No. Well,
how could you put Ohio State at 4 after how they played all season, and put Clemson ahead, Alabama ahead of either of those?
No, it might have been Clemson 4. I'm not sure exactly. Clemson was in the 4, definitely, though. I didn't have Penn State in my 4. Let's put it that way. But again, I think the reason why the committee did this, too, also, is for shock, for the conversation's sake, because this will work itself out. LSU, Alabama plays this weekend. I can't wait. Okay? You got Penn State, Ohio State coming up, I think, next week.
Yeah.
So it will work itself out. Clemson wins out, they will be in there no matter how I slice it. Okay? Clemson wins all their games, they are in. Period discussion. You know, I'm still a little shocked that Georgia's hanging around, but I guess I shouldn't be. But you know, I think the odds of two SEC schools getting in is going to be it's probably going to end up happening unless Alabama falls apart the rest of the way. But you know, do I have a problem with the rankings? Not necessarily. I'm not surprised comes on in there because they're just telling you which teams have looked the best so far in terms of strength of schedule and performance-wise. But again, Clemson wins out, they're going to get automatically. It doesn't matter. This is kind of like Florida State. Remember Florida State the first year in the rankings? They had a really weak schedule and they were winning all their games, but they were barely getting by. And they were like ranked 3 and 4 the entire time. And then they lost to Oregon. It's kind of the same thing with Clemson here, too.
Well, I almost feel like the Big Ten championship is the most important game of the season.
Mm-hmm.
Because right now, when LSU Alabama loses, they will drop to 5, and Georgia will move to 6. And Clemson will move into number 4.
Right. Well, we will.
So it comes down to who wins that game, because would you put a Penn State 1-loss team ahead of Alabama with 1 loss, or would you put Penn State ahead of an LSU with 1 loss? And I don't think you could pit Penn State against either one of those teams in a 1 loss.
Hmm. Like I said, this is all shock value because everybody across the board said LSU is the best team in college football right now, the most impressive team in college football right now. It's a sexy pick. So the fact that Ohio State won.
That I felt like was the biggest shock was not seeing LSU number 1.
Right. But again,
it wasn't
shock.
seeing Clemson in the top 4. It was seeing LSU not number 1.
Yeah. But I think Ohio State also has been so dominant from the start so far through all their games that it's hard to ignore that too. You got 6, Georgia 7. I mean, Oregon has a chance to get in there. They got to win out, obviously. Yeah. I mean, I honestly don't see other than these 6 teams getting in. That's it. This is your 6, and I think it'll stay the 6 pretty much the rest of the way.
Exactly. I don't see any team jumping ahead of a 1-loss SEC team.
No.
Even though, whether it be Alabama or LSU, who loses and doesn't even play for an SEC championship game, they're going to beat Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll have either the LSU or Alabama with the 1 loss, and I think they still get in over a Pac-12 championship team.
Mm-hmm.
Or a Big 12 team.
Right. All right. If I let you go, Last thing, FSU Minute, real quick. They did it. Well, first off, the game itself. Miami destroyed Florida State. Embarrassing fashion. I turned the game off in the fourth quarter when it was still close. Because I was so disgusted with both teams, to be honest with you. The game just sucked. Then they got blown out, of course. And then we get word the next day, and you were shocked when I texted you and said that, Willie Taggert got fired. How bad you gotta be when your boosters are raising $20 million of private money just to fire your ass? Just to cover the part of the salary.
Well, they had little kids selling lemonade to raise money. Like, it has been going on since the first week of the season.
Mm-hmm.
I am just still so surprised that boosters came up with the money to buy him off, but I shouldn't be. This is what I should expect from a big-time school. Boosters to have the money to buy off these kind of contracts.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you can buy off this kind of contract, I expect you to go out and get the best possible candidate. Not some guy who was a coordinator with the slightest bit of a name. I want you to bring in a winning coach. What was really scary is Minnesota preemptively gave an extension to their head coach.
I saw that.
Because they felt the pressure that he might be leaving.
Well, it's kind of smart on their end. I already saw the record on my Periscope a couple days ago, on my Periscope show. I'll take the hit. I'm a hypocrite. I'll take it. If Urban Meyer is even remotely available, I want him.
Oh, I want him for the recruiting. Now, do I think he will be able to last 3 years?
Probably not.
I'm not sure anymore. Because after listening to college expert after college expert talk about his health and everything, maybe it's more than what I believe. I used to believe. Maybe he really has an issue with his health, and maybe it is detrimental to his health to be a head coach. But the way that man can recruit, I'm okay with him bringing convicts back to Florida State.
I'm just tired of being irrelevant. Period. It sucks being where we're at. I hate it. And this started with Jimbo, too, for the record. Not just with Taggert. Jimbo got out when he could. And the wheels have fallen since the playoff in 2015, 2014.
But as far as a Florida State fan, I've already lost my top choice with the Minnesota head coach. I think Florida State needs to come in strong on a first offer to the Clemson defensive coordinator, verbals, and offer him $6 million. Pry him away from Clemson and go from there.
What about Lane Kiffin?
Or Venables. I'm sorry. I have no idea how to pronounce his name.
Neither do I. It's okay. What about Lane Kiffin? Yeah, no opinion there?
I do like Lane Kiffin, and I think he fits the Florida State mold more. And he is a winning coach.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going to say no, but he's not my top choice.
Okay. Well, you know who mine is. Mine's Urban. So we'll leave it at that.
Oh, he'd be my top choice, too.
He's going to bring back criminality to Tallahassee. It's great.
I do not care at this point. I just want a bowl game again.
And all it took was 4 years of irrelevancy. It all took 4 years of relevancy. It's great.
It's amazing when you go your whole life thinking, oh, everyone makes a bowl game, and then you don't make it for 3 years, and you're like, wow, this really sucks.
Once upon a time, 9-3 was a bad year for the Florida State Seminoles. Once upon a time, 9-3 was bad, really bad.
Yeah.
Now?
Yeah, when you're finishing like top 15 instead of top 5. Yeah. It's crazy.
It's crazy. We're spoiled as shit. That's why. We're spoiled. So,
I feel like a Nebraska fan now.
Yes, Nebraska. That's a good analogy. That's actually a great analogy. Nebraska. Fall from grace. Anyway, Zachary, good luck with your picks this week. Yeah, you need it.
I need it, man. So, God knows I need it.
Yeah, man. All right, buddy. We'll talk soon.
All right, man.
All right,
later.
Man. Later.